I think this deals with two things that are really crucial, and and don't get enough attention. And you wrote about the case for longer work lives in one of our earlier issue briefs, and this offers some hope that increased health spans will promote that. I hear a lot. I've long been skeptical about the fact that that would result in cost savings.
Yeah.
And what I like about this paper is that it seems to provide some quantitative, proof of my off the cuff speculations. But that's really one of but I want to say that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. I mean, I think that the idea of trying to keep people healthier and spending more, however that's defined, is obviously the payoff there is healthier lifespans, and that's what you want.
But there's an individual payoff, right? There's a payoff for individuals, which in and of itself makes it worthwhile. There's a payoff for the economy, and indirectly for the budget, if not through healthcare savings, then through higher tax revenue.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
It's all a good thing, and it would help save the idea, the talking point that I sometimes hear is, well, if we spent more on prevention, we'd save money, and that's the thing I take it that you're a little bit skeptical about, and that the research doesn't necessarily back up.
Well, it might, but frankly, there isn't a lot of evidence to support that. Look, let me sort of restate all of this more simply. And Chase, this will get back to the question you actually asked me, and allow me to give an answer to that. What has been happening, and it's unambiguously positive, is that the functional health of the elderly has been improving, and rather dramatically so. And the reason for all of my hedging was the deterioration in a whole set of health indicators among midlife adults. So the reason for the hedging was whether this will continue or maybe be reversed. But if it continues, and maybe to ensure it continues, we do need new investments in the health of the elderly, and especially the future elderly, and not just in health, but investments that address all of the underlying social and economic issues and inequalities and disparities that feed in to these adverse health outcomes, right? But if that continues, that will unambiguously help extend work lives, right? That will support that policy agenda. But like you, I'm much more skeptical about the potential for savings, particularly in acute care. Long-term care is a more complicated story.
I do think it's fascinating that you've raised this issue of looking at the people who are 45 rather than the elderly, because we tend to always just sort of look at it's a natural thing to do, to just look at if you're looking at 75-year-olds, look at what the trend is in 75-year-olds. But the recent morbidity escalation in the population has really been targeted among younger and not so much the older, which is really probably an underreported thing. So Chase, it's more you than it is us. Richard and I are fine.
It's all our fault. The typical boomers blaming the millennials and the Gen Xers.
No. It began with the second half of the boom, which was one long slide on every indicator of social pathology.
All right. Well, we're not on the second side.
And we're right. We're right in the middle. But Bob, what you're pointing to, and what I was implicitly pointing to, is sort of the age bracket fallacy, right? Our friend and sometime colleague Neil Howe, right, who's the great guru on generations in American history, once described the difference between age brackets and generations this way. He says an age bracket is a railway station. Think of it as a railway station, right? And you've got a number of these stations along the tracks of life, right? A generation is a train going from station to station, right? The people in the train remain the same, and they bring their baggage with them.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing a differentiation based on socioeconomic status? Are you seeing lower income individuals who might not have the same resources to live a healthier lifestyle, seeing more negative trends than, say, higher income individuals who could afford to go and engage in the healthcare system more frequently or afford, healthier diets? Like, what is there a
Oh
differentiation?
yeah, absolutely, and it's stark and it's dramatic and it's shocking when you look at the numbers. All of this falls along socioeconomic lines. Life expectancy and health expectancy for the college educated, especially the highly college educated and upper income segment of the population, it continues to rise, and it's stalled for most other groups. Mainly among socioeconomic lines. I'm not sure the disparities by race are widening. They may indeed be narrowing, but these are the so-called deaths of despair. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a huge social problem. When policy tries to address, if aging policy can't be just about aging, right? It has to be about the entire society.